Welcome. I think we're on. We are live. We'll wait for a few people to come on, but let's get into this. Mark, Nexus.
I'm nervous.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm a little bit starstruck. I was saying to Steph before we started there, I feel as if I'm on Perth's answer to Joe Rogan here. So it's beautiful here. We've got two screens going at the same time. I'm trying to hit my guys and get to see Steph's beautiful people at the same time. So I'll address Steph's audience. If I go a little bit too Scottish because I'm getting excited, just give us a wave in the comments, let us know, I'll slow it down. But basically, give you a little bit of background to how we first met and why I'm so excited to involve Steph. We met...
Before you do that, one thing, people, as you're coming on, because we can't see everybody that's coming on, thank you for everybody that is coming on. Pop a number 1 in the comment box,
Tasha,
and pop a smiley face or a love heart or an emoticon describing how you're feeling, because how you feel is going to determine the uptake of the information that you're going to receive. Definitely. So number 1 in the comment box, let us know you're here. If you're new to these live feeds, put new in the comment box as well. And Mark, take it away.
Sam Reid, my wife's joined yours, but she's not joined me.
Awesome.
Brilliant. You'll be getting a big love heart and I'll be getting
thumbs down.
Just sleeping outside. Cool. So yeah, Steph and I met just over a year ago actually. It's one of those two old souls, to be honest. Felt as if I've known the guy for years, which is beautiful. Coming from Scotland, hence the kind of weird and wonderful accent. Yeah, you miss a lot of things about back home. Australia is definitely hope now, but you miss the camaraderie, the boys, and you miss all that kind of, the kind of masculine togetherness, that football locker stuff. It's one thing that the Scottish are very good at, but we look after our own. And definitely Steph has embraced me as a brother 100%, very early on. 100%. Jason Dick, that's speaking at Nexus also. I'm very, very grateful for getting Steph in for the Succeed PT workshop where I was one of his students back then, and then we connected, and I felt like most of you that are on this live feed, there's a kind of magnetic brilliance of Steph. You just feel drawn to him, and I said to him, I don't know how we're going to work together, I just know that we are. Leave it with me, but there's going to be brilliant things coming. And then March 2016, I was diagnosed with a rare form of skin cancer. Now, I don't want to go into that too much. It's Tuesday night, for goodness sake. I don't want to bring people down. But for some reason, something in my intuition was telling me to give him a call. And I kind of mumbled and stumbled on the phone, and I said, listen, buddy, I don't really know why I'm calling you. Out of everyone that I could call, I don't know why I'm calling you, but something's guiding me towards you. I've had some recent bad news. You don't really know me this well, but I hope I'm not overstepping the mark. But
never. Yeah,
I've been diagnosed with a form of skin cancer, and I'm just feeling a bit taken aback. And we got kind of chatting, and he said, "What's your thoughts on it?" And I said, "Well, to be honest with you, I feel pretty awake. I feel pretty alive. I've read a lot of things to the point that I've realised." This is why I was reading it the whole time. It was actually prepping me for this. My body and my future self knew that this was something I had to go through for the greater good. And he said, "Listen, buddy, I think you're going to be all right. But if there's anything I can do, consider it done." And true to his word, he started connecting me to amazing people. And he's speaking in my values when he did that. Connection means a hell of a lot to me. So much so that we get to connect with some beautiful people that I've never met before, such as the power of technology. Yeah. And hence the name of Nexus, I thought, was very fitting for the workshop that we're doing, which is just that common point of connection, primarily through families. Family's a big value of mine, if not my top one. And
can I stop you? Not stop you, can't pause you right there.
Please do.
While we're talking about that, as Mark's mentioning values, which is awesome, and hello to everybody that's coming on. Number 1 in the comment box, let us know that you're here, and a smiley face as well. But maybe name one to 3 of your top values whilst Mark is continuing that conversation. So drop in the comment box 1 to 3 of your top values, because this is going to lead us into the conversation we are about to have. Carla, Sky, hello. How is everybody? Awesome. Continue with your values, brother.
Yeah, please, you pop that in, because then I know how to speak to you guys, and I'm going to keep you guys engaged. But family's a big one for me. And as we talk through values, I'm going to talk about what I think there's 2 categories. I think there's default values, which every single human person has. Health is one of them, because if we never had it, we wouldn't be online right here, right now. I used to say this as an ex-PE teacher, fighting with the staff members to try and get PE further up in the value system of the education sector, that I don't care how good an accountant you are, how good a heart surgeon you are, how good a lawyer you are. If your own heart is not breathing and your lungs is not filled with air, you are not going to work that day. I think we're sending kids the wrong message. But hey ho, I was a guy with a ball, a cone and a whistle. What did I really know about pedagogical practices? But it was good. It taught me a bit of resilience and to keep going through my path anyway. But I really truly believe that health is a default value for every single one of us here. And so much so it's brought us together. But I'll never ever forget telling my wife the news coming back from the biopsy that day and having to call my mum back in Scotland. But again, I made it all about everyone else instead of about me. The number one job was to get rid of it first and foremost, but that wasn't my initial thought. My initial thought was, oh my God, I'm going to help so many people here. I'm going to actually be able to walk my talk. Can I get through kind of self-healing practices? And it's not that there's anything wrong with the medical system. I need to put that out there just now. Nor do I know how to heal cancer. I need to be really clear from that off the bat. I just know for the first time in my life, my gut intuition was really loud and it was telling me to go, this was the path that was right for me. But I'll never forget having to call my mum and dad. And ironically, it's my dad that I've worried about for so long, my whole life, to be honest. He's a big guy. But I've been forcing my values of health onto him. I've been looking at him and thinking he's been unwell in some sort of capacity because he wasn't fulfilling what I classed as healthy. And ironically, I was more unhealthy than him because he was living in his values, plays golf, plays football, gets to look after his beautiful grandson now, my nephew that I've still to meet. And I just feel that as humans, we're hardwired to be, we get motivated by pain. And I don't think it needs to be that way. I want to educate families to proact and prevent rather than react and then repent for your sins, if you like. Family is another default value, I believe. If you are here, some beautiful woman somewhere in the world has birthed you. Whether if you have an active relationship with your mum or you've been Oliver Twist and you've grew up with some grueling circumstances, you need to be grateful that you're here. So some family somewhere, his 2 souls have came together, they made you, you are here on this earth. You're healthy enough to listen to this broadcast. More importantly, you're healthy enough to listen to your own innate self. So Nexus primarily, as I'm going to connect you, first and foremost, I want to connect families to credible health education so that you don't need to go through that reactive kind of stance on health. We can live proactive, preventative lives with the people that we value the most so that we can live that life of fulfillment, which is the kind of name of the game. So there's going to be Steph, there's going to be people like Damien Donahue, Mitchell Behan, Natalie Baldock, Ben Williams, who else do we have? My wife, God, I need to get my family's my top value and I've missed my wife. Sam Reid, she'll be speaking. We've got a plethora of speakers here. We've got chiros, naturopaths, energy healers, behavioural, human behaviour experts. We've got guys like this genius here who's going to be talking about, I could really give him anything, he's a walking encyclopedia, but we're going to be we're focusing on the masculine energy and the different layers of consciousness. And I believe that there's 3 realms to holistic health, and that is fitness, wellness and consciousness, and we're going to not just cover them, we're going to smash all 3. But without saying too much, because I want to bring in the main man now, we're not just going to give you knowledge that you leave more overwhelmed than what you were when you started, because I think that's another modern day addiction that we all have as humans. It's just we're surrounded by information constantly, we admit it, we absorb it, and it gets to this kind of peacocking syndrome that we have with each other, where we kind of we've missed the mark of connecting. It's who knows more than the other person, and it shouldn't be that. I think it's experience that really defines your life. And again, coming from the teaching background, I've saw kids from 3 and 4 years old, from kindy and playgroup right the way through till they get their degree, if they go to uni pretty early and finish at 23 and 24, only to be then going, right, life starts. Yeah, the debt, the your health probably, because you've been living in noodles for the last 4 years as you've been doing your degree. To go for that, you've got your piece of paper, you've got your diploma, you're ready for the job to step into the world that you've been studying for the last 20 years, and then someone in an interview says, oh, you don't really have quite enough experience, what we're looking for. That needs to be scaled back to the curriculum that we're designing. We've prepped kids for 2 decades to tell them it's all about knowledge. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, the things that's really taught me in life is experiences that I've went through. So that's why the cancer thing last year will never, ever, ever be seen as a negative thing for me, because it's awoken my soul. I think we've all got a soul purpose in life, and that's to find your soul's purpose.
Yeah, that's Mark. That's deep. So Mark's touched on a lot there, a great deal in a short period of time, which is awesome and very deeply inspiring. What I'd like to make a note of in particular is learning and information. We are bombarded with information so often in our lives, through social media, through our environment, through external factors such as family, opinions, friends, peer groups, colleagues, businesses, commerce. There's so much information. And what happens is we stop thinking for ourselves. And this is when we're speaking to consciousness, we're speaking to awareness, and we use the terms interchangeably. But we're speaking to being deeply aware of ourselves and seeking, exploring, because when we explore for knowledge or for wisdom, rather than being that information being handed to us, what happens is something very magnificent and magical happens in here, in this brain. These new neuronal pathways are formed, neuronal mapping changes, our networks change. But what happens is that affects our behavior, our interactions, our relationships, the way our emotions start to interpret the world, yeah? And we've got some wonderful people coming on as well. Just on that, if you're coming on and you're new, put new in the comment box. And if you're coming on and you're just joining us, put 1 so we know that you're joining us, because we cannot see everybody that's joining, yeah? So we're talking about learning right now, and someone asked a question earlier, does Mark have cancer? No, he does not. He had some form of, what would you call it? I don't even want to call it cancer, Mark.
No, I don't like calling it here. It's I had a severe dose of the flu.
Yeah, severe dose of the flu. What he did do, though, was shift that, move through that physiologically, emotionally, and mentally. And I'm sure at Nexus, he's going to speak to that story, because I think it's deeply inspiring, and I feel everybody needs to hear it anyway. Even if you do or don't speak to it, I'm hoping you do.
Yeah, I will now.
Yeah, good. Because it's a point of inspiration. He's a young man, and instead of going for conventional medicine, instead of coming from a place of fear, so a consciousness around fear, he came from a place of love, of patience, of devotion to self, of devotion to higher order principles, of which is health and wellness and family. And he began to alter his consciousness around, who am I right now? What condition do I have? Or what am I feeling? Or what is my state? What do I want from life? Some big questions. You're asking some big questions, right? Yeah. Scared, yeah. Fear. But fear is a beautiful thing. We forget how important fear is. Fear is not bad. Fear is an opportunity to grow. In fact, the deeper our fears, the deeper the opportunity to grow. When we look at our purpose or purposes for life, it is about growth and expansion. Now, if you resonate with that, pop a number 2 in the comment box. If you can resonate with one of life's purposes,
I'll put a 2.
being about growth and expansion. And when we choose consciously with awareness to grow and expand, we are doing so not only for our own selves, our own soul, but also for those all around us as well.
Can I touch on that just
Absolutely, brother, go for it.
That has really resonated with myself there, because
Carla, awesome. Sorry, 3-time cancer survivor. That is inspiring.
Go on, Carla.
I'm hoping you're coming to Nexus, Carla.
God love you. Yes, please do. Come on, share the stage with me.
Absolutely.
I need to own it. I think when you're in a privileged position like ourselves, where we're of somewhat influence to other people. A lot of people can look up to you and put you on that kind of proverbial pedestal as if you've got it all together. There is no end destination in this life other than when it's time for us to exit. The thing that we need to start appreciating is the actual journey of it itself, and that's what cancer really kind of taught me. But to be honest with you, I get mocked from a lot of people. I get mocked from a lot of people back home in Scotland. A lot of people couldn't understand it. I had fake Facebook pages made up about me. I had people going on to my wife's Facebook page, taking pictures of me hurting the dog off, using cut copy and paste, and horrible things that my family shouldn't have to see. Now, Steph, over the recent months, what I love about him, and I think it's his greatest ability as a leader, is his vulnerability, is how raw he is. He just wears his heart on his sleeve, and he has no problem. In fact, his masculine energy is that strong that he fully embraces the feminine side of it. And I feel that I was doing that as well, but I was being mocked from it. And the fear then kicked in, that little voice in my head started questioning everything that I was doing, so much so that I went, maybe they're right, maybe I haven't healed myself. Maybe I was very lucky that and don't get me wrong, I was lucky that it was the type of cancer it was. There's a hell of a lot of people out there going through worse situations than what I was. But at the end of the day, cancer's cancer. It's dis-ease in the body. You're doing something wrong, for the want of a better word. You need to recalibrate and get your focus. So I allowed other people then to bring up that old bit of self-doubt, unworthiness, not good enough. And I'll be honest with you, right here, right now, getting Nexus up and running, the exact same feelings are coming up again. But do you know what? An amazing man once told me, you'll know this guy, Ian O'Dwyer. Yeah. Brilliant in the fitness industry, really inspiring guy. Played AFL, but he was a horsebreaker. I grew up with that, but he's got a glass eye. If you look at his company, OD on Movement, he's all about play and going back to things. And he said, basically, Mark, there's two emotions in the world when you really pull it down to it. There's fear and there's love, and both need each other. Because everything you love is at the other side of fear. So when you're scared, brilliant, and just getting closer to what you love.
Number 3 in the comment box. Everything you love is on the other side of fear. Number 3 in the comment box, if you can resonate with that, people. That's deep. That is deep.
So that there, mate, I really needed to tap, because I'll be honest with you guys, right now, I've never been more scared in my life, but you know what? I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah, and that's a consciousness of courage, and we're speaking to states and levels of consciousness, and there's so many different paths that we can take with this. And in my talk I'm starting to prepare that now in August, 19th and 20th of August for Nexus here in Perth, Western Australia. I'm preparing these levels of consciousness and where I want to go with it, and it's a rabbit hole. It really is. But if we just look at the simplicity of what are we paying attention to right now? What mindset do we have? What approach to life do we have? How do we move with intention in life? What are our highest values? What are our purposes for being? And we can really begin to understand that consciousness consciousness is where we place our attention and what is most important to us, and how we move through life, how we hold ourselves, the integrity that we have. What's that?
This is one of my dear clients. We call her Mother Teresa Lucas. She's 21. She's in her 50s now. I'd like to give some of you friends in the UK and Scotland a swift uppercut.
Yeah, nice.
We give them love, Mama.
We do give them love. We've got to give them love. We've got to give and again, that's another approach to life. That's another mindset. So here's a question for you, beautiful people out there. When life is challenging you, when you're experiencing deep fear, do you retract or do you open up? And if you open up, wonderful. How do you open up? And explain that. Put these in the comments, please. And when life is challenging you deeply, when you are in fear, when you are entering the unknown, when you are submerging yourself in the mystery that is life, how are you feeling? Do you retract further deeper into the fear and do not explore the chasms of your being and the chasms of infinite potential? Or do you jump into life? Do you leap into the unknown? Let us know. Put some comments in the comment box. Start to speak to that. Sam says, break the fuck open. I love that. I love that, Sam. Power.
You can tell she's married to a Scotsman.
Open, letting go, surrender, exhilaration. Zoe, awesome. Michelle, always send love to your challenges.
Amazing.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. What else we got here?
Anna Nicole.
Jessica, welcome. If you're just joining, pop number 1 in the comment box. We're speaking to all things health and wellness.
Yeah, give us a wave.
Yeah. And if you're new to these live feeds, pop new in the comment box as well so that we know that you're here. But how do you deal with challenges? Do you retract? Do you protract? Do you open your being up? Do you expand into the infinite nature of the unknown? Or do you really go back into fear and do not take what we would call risks, or do not take opportunities in life? Because it's so important to be open to the fullness that is life. So Emma says...
Jess Stone. Hi Jess, how you doing, buddy?
Retract initially to gather myself and then embrace anything thrown at me. Beautiful.
Brilliant.
Take a breath and jump. Tantrum, then let it out, and then out with laughter. Nice. Live by when someone says you can't, that is when you know you can. Yeah, absolutely. Completely. So we want to speak to... I wanted to speak to the 7. I wanted you to speak to the 7. It's lost. I've lost it.
7 areas of life. 9
No,
areas of life.
no. The 9 areas of life is me. I wanted you to speak to. You were speaking to 7. 2 seconds. I want to get this up and running.
Don't smile.
See, we're human.
This is an open forum, but actually pray and step out of faith. Brilliant, mate.
Awesome, Carla.
That's the beautiful thing about religion. Everyone actually just says the same thing. They just come from different viewpoints. Whatever you call it, whatever your interpretation of God and prayer is.
7 common human goals.
7 common human goals.
Sorry, I forgot about that. We lost that.
Yeah, before I talk about that, what would you say your core... What would you say common goals are within your life? What do you want? What do we all look for? Steph, brain freeze. Yes.
It happens all the time. I haven't eaten for 4 days, so I'm fasting. So I'll get brain freezes regularly for the next few days.
For the fasting. Yeah, pop in. What is common goals, or what are goals that are specific to you? What do you want? I like Bexley. There's another legend.
Bex, hello.
How you doing? Pop in. Don't be shy. Let us know what is your common goals. I'll give you a couple to get you started with. Everyone at some point, I think, wants to live an abundant life. They seek abundance. They talk about freedom, but Joe Dispenza talks about the emotion of freedom, but the sponsor and thought behind freedom is actually abundance. We want to do what we want, when we want, where we want, however many times we want, with the people that mean the most to us. So abundance is something we seek. Adventure is another one, I believe. We need that novel experience, because understand, boys and girls, the thing that will keep you stuck is your beautiful brains, your beautiful big brains, because it seeks familiarity, it likes comfort. I'm actually speaking this Saturday at the wonderful Carol Hagan's event in the Perth Convention Centre, the Wellness Day. It's from our company Move Your Body, the Wellness Day, and I'm speaking about barriers to success, or barriers to health, or barriers to balance. And I think that's one of them, is an addiction to comfort. So please, guys, don't seek ease. Seek to be better within yourself, within your own values.
Seek to evolve, seek to grow,
Always.
Seek to expand your skills, your awareness of self, your knowledge. Don't stagnate yourself. Comfort's easy, and easy is ignorance, and ignorance is bliss. Do not ignore the source of who you are, the core of what you are. Do not ignore your potentiality, and do not play a small game. Play a big game. Exactly. Number 4 in the comment box, if you can relate with that. Play a big game. Play an expansive game. The sky is the sky is not the limit. There is no limit. Not think outside the box. Remove the box.
Infinite potential, boys and girls. Yep. So there's the first 2. So abundance, adventure. Connection is another one. We all want to be part of something. Contribution as well. We always want to give back. Love, I think, is number 5. If we don't have love, what do we have?
What do we have?
We're crippled with fear, and we're stuck in that comfort zone. You need to understand that some people they are happy being unhappy, and you know what? That's fine. That's not a judgment. That's just where you're at. Sometimes you'll need to hit that rock bottom before you go back up. But if I was to say, in fact, we'll test it out. Please finish this sentence. Solid as a what? Type it in.
I like that. Solid as a
what?
Finish the sentence. This is interesting. Get involved, people. By the way, the reason why we involve you, there's a neurological reason why we involve you, and a behavioural and a learning capacity reason. So when we involve ourselves and each other in this experiential learning, this dynamic, interactive experiential learning, it changes the way we perceive our world, and we perceive the information. Awesome. Rock. Yep.
Cool. There's my mum sending me a private mail. She can't get on my Facebook Live. My sister's on, so she'll point you in the direction. Solid as a rock, yes. So if we then hit rock bottom in our life, but remember, solid as a rock, sometimes when we hit rock bottom, that is the most solid foundation that you can ever have to then build your life the way you want it and be that master creator, be that master destroyer. Steph's abs, you better believe it. I was waiting to see who would get the top answer. Solid as Steph's abs. Anyone that's on my side, right, if you haven't already added him as a friend, ladies, for nothing else than a higher level of conscious perv, have a look at this guy in some of his yoga videos and CrossFit. It's an absolute weapon. I was only going in the lyrics to get to that song. Solid. Steps. I'll remix that. We'll get that out there. Very true. But yeah, solid as a rock. When we hit rock bottom, a lot of us fear it. But that's a real steady foundation to then build it any way you want.
That's powerful, man.
Shit's getting deep now.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Can we get number 6, please, in the comment? I think I've skipped the number, but I guess we're going to go straight to number 6. Number 6 in the comment box, if we can agree with. That's a beautiful analogy that I've actually never heard that before, and it's just so simple yet so profound. Like, solid as a rock, yet we hit rock bottom, and we forget how solid rock bottom is. We forget what foundations we can build from that.
We're all onto that, Mark. Yeah.
Oh no.
Brilliant.
6. And this is awesome. Are we on number 5 for the 7?
Right. God.
I think love.
Jumping about. So we've got abundance, adventure, connection, contribution, love, security is another one that for most people we want to feel safe, and that kind of ties into the default value of family for a lot of it. That's another big driving factor as to why I've kind of thought of Nexus and approached these amazing beings to get it all there. Mark, Mum, I'm actually on now. Brilliant. Well, you're on Steph's page instead of your own son's, but that's good. You're here, Mum. Thanks. We've got you. So you're beaming to Scotland.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Excellent. Global.
Yeah, we want that security. This is probably. I don't actually want to ask him. I want to just be blown away when we're live at the Nexus event when he talks about the consciousness. But I'm sure we can relate just now that the old kind of archaic masculine ego, if you like, is that we're here to provide and protect our queen bee, if you like, the feminine energy, which to a point is true, but we don't forget our beautiful selves while we're doing that as well. Part of the masculine energy is being true, authentic males and doing the things that make us manly, and that's not the caveman stuff like burping, rifting and fire and killing things, but it's just the thing, whatever's unique to your own subjective values, you owe it to yourself, regardless of sex, gender, religion, colour, creed, whatever lights you up. That is your real sole purpose in life, is to do what you love and love what you do. And if you get to a point where you're really committed to that and you're connected to those higher values, that's the dream life that we live of. And then the last kind of common goal, if you like, I think is more of a consequence, and that's significance. We all like being in the spotlight to a certain degree, whether that's just being the head of the house, whether that's just being the head of yourself, or that's being out within the community, the world at large. We all like it. All you need to do is look at social media. We give up a lot of who we are and what we do for likes and loves, so much so that we forget who we are as people. So I think that's your 7. So we've got abundance, adventure, connection, contribution, love, security and significance. I think is the 7 common ones that I've seen.
Powerful, very powerful. We get a number 6 in the comment box, please, people, if we can resonate with that, because that's beautiful. That's there's right there. If we just focus on those 7 key elements of life, and we actually begin to pay attention to those elements of life, we will begin to grow within our own lives. Yeah.
That's
what does Beck say?
I've never had an issue with security, guys, but it overwhelms amazingly when you're a new mum. Security, appreciation and self-love come creeping in.
I don't know if you'll be able to see that again, unfortunately.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Bex. It's
loved your post, I think it was yesterday, Bex, or maybe it was today, about taking time for yourself, because I think, apologies to Steph's audience here that I'm Scottish, but I need to stay true to my values. There might be a couple of sweary words that come out here, but I think it's absolutely bullshit, the societal pressure that women, especially mothers, new mothers, have. And I'll be honest, ladies, the kind of cattiness within your kind of female tribe, if you like, doesn't really help that as well. You should be all coming together and realising that it is a tough job out there, birthing something so beautiful in there, and it comes a hell of a lot of responsibility. But society will have you believe that if you do anything for yourself, you're selfish. I disagree. I think it's essential.
Yeah, absolutely. And we speak to this, my audience would have heard this many times. I speak to selfish selflessness and the concept of being acting in selfishness, but acting from a place of selflessness. And what it effectively means, it's a really simple analogy. It's when you're in the aeroplane, they tell you if there's an emergency, the oxygen masks are going to come down. Attend to yourself first, and attend to those next to you. And there is nothing inherently wrong with that. It's not poisonous behaviour to be that way. So selfish selflessness is this: when we come from a place of self-love to care for our own journey, but simultaneously wish to be of service to the path of others. That is selfish selflessness, and that is necessary in life, because you're kidding yourself if you think that you can not be selfish. It's everything that we do has a selfish interest. It's the intention behind that interest, and behind the action, behind the movement through life and the interaction with others in our environment that really determines how, I suppose, A, we perceive ourselves, B, others perceive ourselves, and see the level of well-being and longevity and well-being that we experience. So if you can resonate with that, pop a number 8 in the comment box. I think I'm missing numbers. Was it 6 or 7 before? Fuck knows. It doesn't matter, does it?
I think we were on 7.
Have a look. Oh, we are on 7.
I would have up with 7. 7's my favourite. That's my favourite number.
Well, okay, we're going to stay on 7, not 8. Put 7 in the comment box if you can resonate with the concept of selfish selflessness, or 8. It doesn't really matter. It's all good.
I'll be putting this. I think that's amazing, Steph. It really is so true.
And we wanted to speak tonight as well to the 9 areas of life. I mean, different practitioners, coaches, theorists, thought leaders, etc., whatever, will have a number of different areas of life. I know John DeMartini has 7. I know others that have 5, others that have 10, others that have 12. I've just created 9. It's really not too relevant how many areas of life there are, but what I want to do is a couple of questions there.
Yeah, but it took 7 weeks, and especially when you think you're strong, and postnatal depression all of a sudden happens, and you never ever think it would be, think it would happen to you. Yeah.
Powerful.
But again, I think this is the beautiful energy of this man here, with how vulnerable he is. He just empowers other people to do the same. And as soon as you're vulnerable, I believe you become relatable. And I think that's the brilliant thing about Steph. So Bex, you're inspiring so many, but openly posting on this. So thank you so much, darling.
I deeply resonate with that.
Thank you.
And definitely appreciate that. And also in complete agreement with Mark there. That when here we have so many...
Swearing is therapeutic. Thanks, guy.
The areas of life. Yes, Nicola. Yes. So I'll go through the 9 areas of life. So if you want to grab a pen and a paper or type it out if you want. I speak to this in most of my programs and my teachings and my online, offline, one-on-one, everything. I swear sometimes. I swear a lot less than I used to.
I'm a bad influence. Sorry, guys.
So 9 areas of life. So first of all, we have the 4 bodies of the human sphere: the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, and the psychological. And they all play a part in the way we observe and view the world. And if you look at different disciplines throughout history and different esoteric practices and different philosophies, say take Tantra, for example, or tantric practice, like non-dual Saiva tantric practice, for example, will observe the world through 3 main areas. So we'll observe the world through the animal center, which is our sexual center. We'll observe the world through our heart, and then observe the world through our cognitive consciousness per se. But there's still 4 bodies to the human sphere. Then for me, in my areas of life, I have 5 other areas of life. I've got social, relationships, family, vocation, and financial. Now, this is interesting because relationship actually covers 4 key subcategories or components of that. And relationship covers immediately relationship to self. That's the most important thing. Relationship to an intimate partner, if you are sharing intimacy or partnership with someone. Relationship to all things, material things outside of yourself. And relationship to Mother Earth. Now, that pays a deep respect and homage to the divine and sacred feminine. And the divine and sacred feminine within all of us, within men and within women. So we look at these 9 areas of life, and I won't go into too much depth now, but I am going to cover this in Nexus, of course. And I believe we're doing some panels as well in Nexus.
Yes, thank you for that.
So you want to speak to that briefly before I continue with nine areas? Yeah.
So basically, guys,
this is awesome.
Over the 2 days, we're going to have each day is going to be broken into 4 categories. I won't spoil that for you too much. I'll tease you with that throughout the rest of the week. But eventually what we're going to try and do is tie in the end of the day, have a kind of 30-minute live Q&A with all the speakers together. But sadly, because of the calibre of the speakers that we have there, not everyone, their availability, they're very scarce. So what we're going to do is after each little subsection, that topic, we're going to have live Q&As, but obviously because I hold this man in high regard, he's going to be speaking on 2 days, so you're going to have panels all the way throughout. For the people that buy the VIP tickets as well, you're going to get to meet the speakers personally at lunchtime, and you're going to be able to go up and ask the kind of deep and meaningful, fruitful questions, and also amazing connection that you've given me through the week, Miss Renee Gibbs. She's going to be providing the nutritious whole foods at the event as well, so you'll be able to get a feed. Yeah,
Renee's a dear friend of mine, and let me tell you, she can cook. This woman can prepare food, cook. She has a passion. She's deeply inspired.
Sexy water as well, Martin.
Yeah.
Selfless plug for the sexy water. In fact, it's in a 66 barrels then as well, which is Ben Williams, a fermentation expert. He's going to be
that's going to be really cool as well. Really, really cool. So there's just so much going on at this event. I'm so excited. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. But back to Renee, and I want to just share this. Renee is like on her 27th day of juicing / fasting, so very, very low calories over the last 27 days. She's an inspiration. She's just wonderful. But my point in that is that food is more than just, hey, I'm good at cooking or preparing food and I'm going to do it. It's an art for her. It's a passion. It's a lifestyle. She has come from, you'll see her biography on Nexus, but she has come from a place of having to heal her body. So really deep experiential, direct experience there. So back to the 9 areas of life. Basically, when we're looking at the 4, we're looking at relationships as an example, and there's 4 key components there: relationship to self, relationship to intimate partner, to Mother Earth, and to all material things. So we begin to really understand the way that we interact with the world, and what we want to do in these 9 areas of life is essentially create mastery, discover mastery, or rediscover our mastery in these areas of life, have competency, have proficiency, have efficiency in these areas of life, have balance. Now, on balance, Mark did a really powerful video. It was about 1.5 minutes. It was your 60-second live videos.
I'm trying.
They're not quite 60 seconds, but they're good. They're good, yeah. I couldn't keep it to 60 seconds. And he spoke to balance, and he spoke to, and I won't take the words out of his mouth, but correct me if I'm wrong, but spoke to, and I shared the very, very similar notion, in fact, virtually the same, where there's this universal balance. The universe has harmonious balance in life. It's amazing. Yet because we are quite abstract by nature, because we are often in our ignorance, we forget how wonderful and wondrous and magnificent we are. It is very challenging to actually find or create the balance that the universe has. Okay, so all we can hope for and what we can wish for, and you gave a really great analogy of that game. I can't remember what the game is called, but it was in the Hungry Hippos. The hippos come up and you have to whack them, right? So what you're doing is you're just fluctuating between finding balance in all the different areas of life, and each hippo represents an area of life. But what we can do is we may not be able to find this articulate balance in life constantly or consistently, but what we can do is pay enough attention to every area of life that we find harmony, that we create or recreate or rediscover harmony in our lives. And I have a harmonious balance model that I may have enough time to speak to at Nexus, and there's 12 key principles in this harmonious balance model.
Thanks, Nicola.
Thank you, Nicola. And in this harmonious balance model, if we act in accordance with these principles, we will find balance. Now, find at least some form of balance. Now, what is balance about? Balance is about healing. Balance is about connection. Balance is about rediscovering our potential. Balance is about connecting to our power, to our authentic selves. If you can resonate with that, pop a number 9 in the comment box, yes. Beautiful people. Because that's what it's about. And when we have that proficiency, that mastery, that connection to self, life flows. We spoke about with 7 values or 7 power points or earlier, and abundance is one of those power points.
We deserve that.
We all deserve that. We all deserve abundance deeply, every single one of us. And we all have the capacity and the potential to live through that abundance and experience that fully.
That's brilliant, mate. Love that.
Balance, healing, 9, yeah, awesome. Awesome. So I'd like to hear from our audience a little bit as well. And this is I believe a really important question. Mark was very open and vulnerable earlier and shared part of his personal story with what he's experienced lately in his oh, hi Michelle, how are you?
Michelle.
What he's experienced lately in his life, and what he's moved through. Are there any deep challenges that any of our audience have experienced and they've moved through? And not so much, I don't want to know how you've moved through it. Oh, well, I do, of course. But what I really want to know, really want to know is 2 things. 1, why did you choose to move through that? And 2, what was the feeling that came from that movement through that pain point, through that deep challenge? And I'm sure Mark would as well, I'd love to hear that, because when Mark speaks, and I've heard his story many times, I hear it like it's the first time. And I become so deeply inspired by his story and how he speaks to it, how much in humility he is and how humble he is in that, and how he speaks so openly to that. It inspires me every time. So this is a real selfish reason here. I want to hear your stories because I want to be deeply inspired, deeply inspired. And that feeds me, it feeds my soul to then, of course, inspire others in my own way. And we all have our unique ways to do that.
That's the selfish selflessness that you're talking about, because it's not about Steph or myself here, guys. It's about having that commonality within each other, because when you have the courage to embrace your fear and get to the other side of that place of love, which always comes from our deepest challenges, then having the courage to verbalise that and raise the vibration from here. You don't know who needs to hear that at this precise moment right here, right now.
Yeah.
So yes, it's going to help fill up our cup a little bit as well, but we've got so many beautiful people still joining in as the broadcast is going, and this might be the thing that just changes their life. So you owe it. If you can't really do it for yourself just now, think about who else out there.
Being of service to others.
Yeah. I love that selflessness. That's selfish selflessness.
Thank you. Renee's on. She's on. We just spoke about you, Renee, a moment ago.
Oh, you missed it.
We plugged you, Renee. We plugged you. How inspiring you are.
$50 each, mate.
So a great man once said to me, he said, you have no right to deny the world of your brilliance. You have no right to deny the world of your brilliance. And when you share your experiences and you share your wisdom and you share your wealth of knowledge and connection and understanding and what you've been through life, there have been times on these live feeds, and most of you that are here today would have seen this and would have experienced this. I've been in tears, and I've been in tears because I'm so deeply inspired by what I'm speaking to, because it's touched me personally, but what I'm feeling, what I'm hearing, and what people are sharing. And Nicola just shared something. So chronic heart condition, I knew I was losing control of my health, changes to address my lifestyle. Now today, 13 kilos lighter, off heart medication.
Go on,
beautiful, beautiful. You know, Nicola shares that, and heart failure or heart conditions or chronic disease around heart. It's what is it, one in 3 or what are the stats? The stats are very, very high. Like millions of people are dying from that every year.
It's getting worse as well.
And it is so that what Nicola has just shared provides someone with hope, with faith, with an opportunity to say, you know what, maybe I can do it. Nicola's done it, I can do it. I can be that person, I can embody that person that can view the world differently, and I can actually transmute my behaviours. How deeply empowering is that, people?
That's amazing. I'll quickly just feel the need to just kind of touch on this. I haven't seen her online, but energetically I hope she gets this. There's a wonderful Fijian lady I met. We did an Australia Day boot camp at our gym in Canningvale. Her name's Elise. Beautiful, big kind of afro hair, curly permy hair. She's just a wonderful soul. One of those people you know instantaneously. Yeah, we are on. And we got kind of chatting, and we went to do some networking things together, and she said, that's the thing though, Mark, I don't have a big story like yours. And I was like, that's the thing though, Lisa. If you are comparing yourself to me, you're robbing the world of your truth. And she said, but what should I do? And it's became a little catchphrase of mine now. It says, the only thing you should ever do is take should completely out of your vocabulary. Because it means you're comparing yourself to something or someone, and when you're doing that, when you're in comparison mode, you have lost the true identity of self. Yeah. Sam's just invited her. Thank you. And Elise, this is where I love boxing, and we did a workshop last night up in Sorrento called Box Flow, and it was a merge of Vinyasa, high intensity boxing training, and Hatha. Nice. And I thought, do you know what, this is the only workout I've seen in 1 hour that hits the 4 modalities. It hits the physical, the mental, the emotional and the spiritual. And I said, but within the fitness industry there's that disconnect. You see, the yogis, even though they talk about non-judgment, they won't want to touch the boxing style of workout because they think it's barbaric. And then the MMA guys all bash the strength and conditioners. The strength and conditioners have a go at the CrossFitters. The CrossFitters have a go at the boot campers, and blah, 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 and round we go. And I was like, just stop for a minute. The world's getting fatter, sicker, more disconnected and more ill health every single second of the day. We're not exactly rolling out the red carpet to invite these people in to make a change when we can't even connect as one whole industry.
Very valid point.
How is anyone else going to change their life? Because these people are petrified. You only need to go onto Facebook or YouTube and see some of the wacky workouts that are out there and go, oh, do you know what? That's not for me. And it's about just taking that first step. So you shouldn't do anything ever other than just be you. And when you be you, you don't need to worry about should. It's just that you could. You're stepping out onto who you could really truly be. So don't compare yourself to other people's stories. That's their path, that's their story. And this is why I love boxing, because I think every single human in the face of this earth is fighting a fight that we don't know. Yeah. Every single person. Yeah. So when you share stories like this, you don't know what that could just be at that moment where they might have been taking a knee, taking a standing 8 count, and that might just be the thing that they've read to get back up, get to do something. Do you know what? Life, not today. I'm still here, I'm still swinging, I'm still going with the flow. So thank you so much for sharing, guys. It is selfishness. I love hearing it because it makes me goosebumps because this is why we do what we do. Yeah. And we are the 1%, boys and girls, not me, not Steph, us as a collective. Yeah,
this community, this tribe, this group here. And, when we, to just extend on what Mark said around comparison, when we become drunk on comparing, comparing ourselves to others.
100%.
Awesome. When we become drunk on comparing to others, we minimize ourselves, we maximize others, we become resentful of our own being, and we become resentful ultimately of those that we're actually admiring. And we have this distorted view of reality. We have this distorted view of what we're actually capable of and what we are not capable of. And the reality is we're not capable of, we are not capable of anything. We are capable of anything and everything. And we have to believe that. And if we choose not to believe it, then that's what will happen. We'll remain in the consequences or the experiential outcomes of those choices that we make. And if you can resonate to that, comparison, the thief of all joy. Yeah, absolutely.
Teddy Roosevelt, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
My wife's a wise egg.
Estelle says, moving from a place of feeling lost, fearful and unworthy to realising my worth and my potential and learning to step into my power. Feeling a sense of freedom and love for myself, very empowering. Estelle.
You better believe it.
Beautiful. Number 10. Let's celebrate Estelle, yeah?
Yes, please.
Number 10. Please, can we pop it at number 10 in the comment box, people? That is just magnificent. Estelle, thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. Really powerful. Tara says, truth is everyone doing the best they can. Compassion for self creates compassion for others completely. Yeah. Coming from an inspired space in ourselves, within ourselves, allows us to just naturally and effortlessly and seamlessly inspire others as well, which is a beautiful. We are biologically hardwired to be of service to others for so many different reasons. And when we do that, we are fulfilling a biological urge. And what happens is we are entering in a more natural state. Therefore, when we're entering in a more natural state, we are experiencing flow. Yeah. Flow is like a peak state of human performance, a psychological and emotional peak state of human performance. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, empowering place to be.
It really is.
Cool.
That natural biology that Steph's talking about, that's hardwired within there, guys, when you let that out to speak that truth, you have no real, well, some of you might actually, there's a high standard of conscious beings here, but you have no real viable way of measuring the chemical reaction that then has in the person, the receiver of your information. It completely can change their genetic expression, their physiology, their psychology, everything, just because you've reacted with your natural biological instincts to then speak your truth, that then literally that's the chemical romance that goes on between two people, and it just can completely heal that you don't really, you might underplay your part and go, I was just kind of sharing my story here, but that is what we want. No one really, there's enough polished performances out there on Facebook. People don't want that. We've lost the ability to connect. We want raw, real, heartfelt emotion. So if you feel it and you then have the courage to speak it, you're affecting lives more than you understand, boys and girls. So these comments, honestly, I'm blown away by it. You've done a fantastic job, mate. The tribe that you've got here is fantastic. Living our truth gives others permission to do the same. Better believe it.
This, and I will say that I will reiterate what Mark said as well. The tribe and the community that we're building here is phenomenal, and I shared this with everybody the other day. In fact, the other day I was just so grateful. We had so many beautiful ladies on there sharing a very deep conversation around masculinity and femininity. On Sunday evening, and it was very deep, and the level of commitment to truth that that we all share here in this community that we're building massively, right? It's contagious. It's the more we surround ourselves with people that place us in a position to ask key questions of our lives, that challenge our being, that challenge our truth, that really assist us to grow. Then we take that out of this community and we bring that into our other communities that we are a part of as well. And so the domino effect occurs. You know, say I know 1,000 people and you know 1,000 people, and say Emma Swan here. Emma, your last comment there, and Emma knows 1,000 people. There's 1 billion people that we have access to right there.
Yep.
That's just incredible. Leverage your wisdom, leverage your power. We go back to that connectivity, that relatability. Learn to give the fullness of yourself to the world. And when you do, you will expand so magnificently, but the people in your lives will just do the same.
I'm glad she said that.
What did she say? Can I? I'll let you read it.
Yeah, this is my wife. She said, "Can I just say a huge load of love for you, Steph? Your vulnerability has given us all permission to do the same. Thanks for being such an amazing leader with such a raw heart. It's awesome. Can really feel it." You're right, Dan. We've spoken about that in great lengths, and I think the beautiful thing I'll address Steph's audience directly here is that how deeper of a connection and understanding of Steph have you now got over the last maybe 2-3 months, and how much has that impacted your own self? How much permission has that given you to live your authentic self and realise, you know what, we don't need to be this photoshopped amazing. He's just lucky he's got those jeans and those abs of steel that we spoke about earlier anyway, but it just gives us permission to go, do you know what, it's okay to not be okay sometimes. That is actually the definition of being okay. That is the perfection. There is the beauty of our imperfections. And can you wear your heart on your sleeve, because that's what people want, that's what they need. Beautiful, Sam.
Thank you, Sam, so much. Deeply.
So I think we're up to, I like this little game, number 11. Put a number 11 in there, both crews. Simply, if Steph Sifandos is a legend, if I had a spare phone, I'd be putting in 2-1 just now. Honestly,
you're a good man, Mark. You're a good man. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate that deeply, more than you know.
11.
We've got the first 11, Estelle. Thank you. Thank you, people. So I'm thinking like this Nexus, and obviously it's Mark's show, but this Nexus, this event, of course, actually it's the collective. I know you feel that way. Sorry, it's the collective. He's just speaking through divine truth. Really, he's just operating through divine truth. But this event, Nexus, it's so much about our physical health, and our physical health is so deeply important. But it's so much more than that. The caliber of speakers, the people that are going to be there. And let me be really clear on something. It's not like I'm getting a kickback here for talking about Mark's show. A financial incentive or any incentive. The incentive that I'm getting is that I'm just so excited to be able to spread a message of truth and connect with people beautifully, and to be present with so many amazing human beings. Not just the speakers, but the people that are going to be attending. This is going to be epic. Like this guy's put his heart and soul into this, and it's not just now, it's the last 34 years of his 34, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, I've got a few of those as well. The last 34 years of his life, it's come to this point. Not that this is the pinnacle of his existence, but this is something huge and major for the Perth community. And it's so exciting to bring beautiful human beings together, souls together that can share their wisdom and their life experiences. So super excited to be a part of this, and super honoured. I think we'll probably start to wrap that up now, Mark. Yeah, definitely. And if you wanted to speak to anything before we wrap up.
Yeah, just a little bit about Nexus as well. Steph said it's not the pinnacle. What I actually want to do is create an online curriculum for families that want to homeschool their kids. Is the ultimate one. And the 3 pillars, the curriculum will be called Health and Wholeness, and the 3 pillars will be Fitness, Wellness and Consciousness. But I was lucky and fortunate enough to do Dr. John D. Martini's breakthrough experience in March this year. And we were talking about some things, and I suffer from what's called like analysis paralysis, where you overthink to the point that you become stagnant and you don't move. And he said, does people that are stuck in the past, that are rewriting the story, does that piss you off? And I said, honestly, yeah, it does a bit. I can empathise, but when you're putting a lot of energy into trying to help them and they're just not ready, I need to, a skill of mine, it's nothing to do with them, I need to learn to detach and just preserve my own energy. He said, well, you're no different, you're just them folded on top of themselves, because you're 50 million years in the future, that you're living there, that you're forgetting the gift of the present now. Start with what you know and let what you know grow. I've heard them say that countless times. That was the first time I listened to it. So I went home and I started writing. I went, what do I really want to do? What is my why? Why am I here? So I started writing it down, and then the curriculum was born. At first I thought it was centres. It might still be that, but curriculum that could reach everyone all over the world. And I went, what can I do now? What can I do now? What can I do now that I can grow? So I started writing things of truth that I can openly speak about. And I went, right, next question, ego check. Who does it better? Then I come up with names like Steph Sifandos. Even my wife, Sam Reid, at certain elements, she's got a beautiful energy that's a complementary opposite to myself. Mitchell Behan, Amelia Tamio, Sandy Poole, Ben Williams, Damien Porter, Zoran Kunjak, Natalie Baldock, Martin Ball, Damien Donahue, Julian Musgrave, Lee Whitehead, Chris Hepler, Melinda Arthur, Teresa McIntyre, Simone Collins, Jason Dick, Therese de Wolf, Nathan Baxter, Ross Field, and I'm now at a point where I've got people private mailing me asking if there's space for more people to speak.
So good.
This is what happens when you start with what you know and you let what you know grow. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I never had the support and love from all these people. And that's why facing your fear is just that little bit easier when we've got that collective being. So if there's anything I can do to both audiences, honestly guys, please reach out, send a private mail, do whatever I need to. If I have a spare 2 minutes, I promise I will be there and I'll give you everything I've got. If I can't, the beautiful thing is you already can source from me. I know a lot of good people that will definitely connect you. So thank you. Beautiful, absolutely. So Mark, thank you so much for being here. I'm so honoured, my friend. So honoured to be on your live feed as well. And
I'm so excited about 19th and 20th. I'm already preparing what I want to speak to and the various layers of consciousness and masculine and feminine interaction and relationships and the panels and the food. Renee, I can't wait.
Yes.
It's just going to be phenomenal. It really is. It's going to be so beautiful. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for everybody that's been here.
Yes.
Deeply appreciate it. So many blessings. Thank you. Share these videos with your friends, with your tribe, with your community. Please share this video if it resonates with you. If it doesn't, then why you been listening for so long? Okay, but we should be seeing so many different shares. But look, I'm super excited. I'm deeply connected to this and to this man here. He's a beautiful friend. He's a upstanding gentleman, beautiful vision, inspiring. Thank you so much. We're going to do more live feeds together as well. 100%. Yeah, 100%. I hope so anyway.
I'd love to.
yeah, definitely going to do some more live feeds before August and probably why not after as well. So this is great. We want to really promote this event for the Perth community and hopefully this thing goes global.
I hope so, guys. I'm already in talks with the lady Carol that I spoke about that's doing the wellness day this Saturday. If anyone wants to come to that, I still think there's tickets. If there's any guys on this feed, there's 150 tickets been sold for this and not one male ticket.
Come on, man. Where are we? Where are we, man?
I've got a little analogy that I say to my head coach at our gym, Grace Doyle. I say, if you get women on the dance floor first, it's not long to men follow. And we were talking about actual DJing. Her fiance and I both used to do it. I went, but that's an analogy for life. Ladies, it's called Mother Nature for a reason. As Steph said, you're the dominant energy. That's a relationship with Mother Earth. You keep doing what you're doing because you give us permission to do this, to follow your footsteps.
And conscious men are beautifully grateful and thankful for that. Thank you so much. Yeah,
thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Really, I love this. Thank you.
Yeah, this is awesome. This
Perth
is really,
Joe Rogan.
This is so good. And this is the first time that we've done this together. And I can't wait till we're on stage together as well. It's going to be epic. The flow is going to be amazing. So thank you so much, people. Please share this video if you resonate, and we will see you. I will see you again on Thursday, and we will see you again very soon in the next couple of weeks. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Guys.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Bye-bye.
God bless.